This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Elk Mountain, Wyoming. But before that, this video is brought to you by Thompson Gaming and the Flying Emu. Thank you for being farm barons. So Elk Mountain, Wyoming is a new 4X map that you found over at Elk Mountain Modding's Facebook page. There is a link down in the description below that's going to take you directly to the map release post. When you go there on the right, click the See More button or link, and then scroll down. You're going to get to two download links. Those download links, one is the map itself, and two is a buildings pack. When you download the buildings pack, you're going to need to extract the mods that are within that single zip and place all of those mods that are in the building pack into your mod folder as individual mods. You can move the map over itself. You don't have to worry about unzipping it. In addition, the map author lists that you will also likely want to download the Terraform mod. And I do have a link to that GitHub page down also in the description below. And that's going to take you directly to the releases page of the Terraform GitHub pages. And from there, you can download the latest Terraform mod and put that also into your mod folder, because this map has a mining aspect to it. And you're going to need to use the Terraform mod in order to dig the dirt, in order to mine for gold. Now let's read a little bit of the description. It says, "Hello everyone. So after a long process and a ton of hours, I am so happy to present to you Elk Mountain, Wyoming for Farming Simulator 22. It is a 4X map and at the moment only for PC. This is a large river valley with mountains on one side, and the other side has large open high plains. The map gives you the opportunity to do just about anything that Farm Sim 22 has for offer. For farming on the river valley and the high plains, logging in the densely forested mountains, and mining across the map. It has 10 predetermined fields, custom environment, and a custom crop counter. I love the Elm Creek barns, except for the fact that you cannot go into them. So he has taken the opportunity to move them into Blender and give them interiors and working doors. I have to say, thank you very much for doing that part, for sure. And I have to say, this map is absolutely stellar. There are also two files that you download. As I said, one is the map and the other is separate building packs, which include the EMR Sawmill OK Used Mods dealership that has been updated for FS22. You'll have to unzip the building pack, as I said, and drag those mods into your mod folder. Most of the ranch buildings will only show up if you are in new farmer mode. There are 4 other farm locations on the map with Elm Creek barns, and none of the doors will work until you purchase land. Also, after you purchase land, you can take down the realty signs by walking up to them and deactivating them. We're going to have to take a look at that part here in a little bit. There are 12 elk antler collectibles on the map. You also have 3 new collectibles. There are a few extra map fill types added for future production opportunity. So with that, what are we waiting for? Let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, let's take a look at the additional mods that are part of the map pack. So the additional mods are the EMR Sawmill. Then we have the OK Used Mods dealership. We have the Ranch Set Extension, Ranch Workshop, and Rustic Cow Barn. And as I said, the Terraform mod is recommended or is going to be needed if you are going to make use of the mining aspect of this particular map. Let's go ahead and pull up our log and watch the map load on in. You see there was a little pause there as the map is loading in. There is a lot of information to pull on in with this 4X map. We're now loading the placeables and all the various starting equipment. And there we go. All right. I think I heard myself a couple elk. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. This is a rather interesting PDA that's been kind of set up as a topographical map with all of the various elevation lines. You can see we have all the standard crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands area, you're going to see that we own the main farm here, which is 54.15 acres in size and is $175,000 in value. And then we have a field 1 land section here that is 30.89 acres in size. That is $100,000. Now, if you take a look at the river, we can buy the river and then some of the various road areas, typically the unbuyable areas, for $0, and that consists of 434 acres. Up here, we have a mining area. You can buy that for 1.5, nearly $1.6 million, and that covers 254 acres. As far as other notable areas we can buy the Burn Ridge for $270,000. We have Clear Cut for $383,000. We can buy the entire High Plains, which is 194 acres in size, for $754,000. Now let's take a look at all these other farms on the map. We have Farm 2 down here just south of the round Field 3. It is 13 acres in size and is $42,000. We have Farm 3, which is over here by Muddy Gap, for $29,708. It is 9.18 acres in size. We have Farm 4 over here, which includes Field 2, which is 32.9 acres in size, $106,000. And then we have Farm number 5, which is over here, and it is 103 acres in size and is $333,000. Other areas of interest are we have the High Plains, 136 acres, $443,000. And well, just generally, there are tons of plots of land that you may be able to buy. Here we have Elk Mountain and part of Bridger Peak for $568,000. Now we take a look here at our field calculator. You're going to see the predefined fields that are available on the map. Field 1 is 4.31 hectares in size. Field 2 is 6.5. Then we have Field 5, which is 21.4, and it's going to be able to be bought for, we'll have to take a look here in a little bit. Field 7, 5.4 hectares. Field 10, 4.58. So the predefined fields aren't super big other than Field 5, which is going to be located right there. If we come down here, we can take a look at the then land prices. So Field 5, which is going to include 23.98 hectares of total land area, it's going to be able to be bought for $191,000. You see some of the other plots of land here. Plot 12, which is going to be 30.5 acres or hectares, it's $244,000. We have the mining area, which is $1.5 million. Area 25, which is 77 hectares, which is $617,000. So there are some pretty large plots of land here that are quite costly, but then we also have some quite affordable plots. Here we have a nearly 6 acre area, and it is $47,000. Now we do have a custom crop calendar here on the map, and the credits give the credit to Hobo's Hollow for the custom crop counter. So this is the same crop counter that is over at the Hobo's Hollow map. Take a look at our prices screen, and we go ahead and iterate through all of the various crops that we can grow on Farm Sim 22. And we're going to see that we can indeed sell every single crop that we can grow. We also have the ability to sell all of the various animal outputs from eggs, wool, and milk. And then we also have sell points for silage, hay straw, and grass and wood chips. And we move on into production. And once again, we have the ability to sell every single built-in production item that is available in Farm Sim 22. So if this is not your first impressions video, then you know that we take a look for that, and that is part of our rating system. So the map is indeed going to get a full point with respect to can you sell all of the base game crops as well as production items. See, we do also have a stone crusher, and then we move into the additional fill types. So we have coal, tailings, concrete, dirt, gravel, sand, iron, overburden, gold, concentrate, crude oil, and gold bars. Now, as the description said, not all of these fill types are immediately available, but they will be coming as a form of future production. But what we can do today is we can generate tailings, we can generate gold, we can generate concentrate, and we can generate gold bars. And we're going to talk about all of that here in a little bit. If we take a look at our vehicle overview screen, we're going to see that we own all of the machinery. We start out here on a new farmer mode, but most of that machinery has been around for a little bit of time and is, well, marginally used. So you're not going to get full price for that if you go and sell the machinery. If we take a look at our animals area, you see that we have a ranch, barn, and horse pasture, but we do not have the animals at the start. We do have contracts available, and we do have a large custom greenhouse as production at the start in new farmer mode. So it's very interesting where we start up here. We start up here on the top of Elk Mountain, and we have a pickup truck, which is part of our starting machinery. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at our starting machinery, I will say that regardless of the play modes, you will start with this machinery at hand. Go ahead and take a look and see what we start out with. We have, in the large tractor category, a 7R 350 John Deere. We have the Mack Superliner 6x4 semi. We have the Dutzfar Topliner 4090H harvester. That is paired up with the Topliner 4090H grain header. And then we also have then a Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer. We have the Kuhn ProLander 7500 cultivator. We have the Rapid A 800S seeder, the Breedall K105 fertilize and lime spreader. We have the Kuhn front and wing mowers, the Fanex 904 header. We have the Z2 840H windrower. We have the Kuhn VB 3190 round baler and the Massey Ferguson 1840 small square baler. We have the ABI attachment 1600 water trailer. We have the Wilson trailer semi-star, our Silver Star for our semi-animal trailer. And then we have the Belvedere horse trailer. We have the 700M front loaders for our John Deere tractor. And then we have the Albert Universal bucket. And we have the Convey All 1690 conveyor and the Meridian TL 12-39 auger to pull product out of our silos. Now, typically, we would just jump to the start farm, but I feel that we have our truck up here, and we have it up here for a reason. So I'm just going to go ahead and take our truck down the road and kind of wind around to our start farm. And while we're doing that, well, we're just going to get a nice look at the scenery on this particular map because, man, this map has a lot of really nice views. So I kind of think that we start up here on a reason because the map author wants us to explore and see this mountainous area, this forested area, driving here along Elk Mountain Ridge, if you will. So while we are driving down here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the production items that are available on the map. There are a total of 15 production items available on the map. They include a gold smelter, a gold washroom, a gold wash plant, grain mill, bakery, carpentry, cereal factory, dairy, oil mill, tailor, spinnery. And we have a sugar mill, a large custom greenhouse, the Elk Mountain sawmill, and a biogas plant. as we wind down this mountainy hillside. But forestry lovers are going to find a ton of trees to sink their teeth into, or should I say, sink their chainsaw blades into, the chainsaw chains. We have now come down off the mountain, if you will. This pickup also has a custom license plate. We have a Wyoming license plate, 777 Elk. Take a look at that distance scenery. Part of what you're seeing over there is the map. And then way, way off in the distance, that is then actual distance scenery. And that, everybody, is our starting farm just over there. As far as starting farm, as the description said, and I have pretty much confirmed this, every farm that is on the map, all 5 of the viable farms, are pre-populated with buildings, but every single thing can be deleted. In fact, everything from this gate back can be deleted. Which includes this section right here, so we can delete that. We can delete our Elk Mountain Ranch entry gate. We can even delete the bridge if we want to and put down our own bridge, should we decide we want something different than this bridge right here. And we're going to come on over here. If we take a left up here at the split, this is going to take us up and around to our farmhouse. And if we had taken the right, then we would landed down there. We can delete that decorative bits. We can delete this tractor and this flower bed, but the tree does remain. If you want to get rid of the tree, you're gonna have to cut it down yourself. Here we have the custom greenhouse, so we have our water spawn point. We have our interactive trigger for our greenhouse. We can delete the gates here. This is going to be a sell point for wood, for lumber. And then we have the Elk Mountain farmhouse here. A wonderful farmhouse that we can indeed actually enter into. And then if we go upstairs, we're going to find the sleep trigger. And then inside of the bathroom, we're going to have our wardrobe trigger. We have a fabulous 2-car garage. Complete with operable doors. Let's make our way down to the main farm here. So here we have the horse area. We can get 8 horses in this particular pasture. We have our water trough. We have our food trough. Then we have our straw area, which should be located right here. Yep, right there is the straw trigger. But the custom Wyoming license plates are an absolute fabulous touch on this particular map. We're coming on over here to the Elk Mountain machine shop. We do have a workshop trigger in here. I believe. Yep, we do also have an operable lift. We have a fuel tank over here for refueling our fuel, or refueling our fuel, refueling our tractors and vehicles. Fabulous area specific storage sheds. Then over here we have the cattle barn. So we have our cow delivery point. Oh, let me get this truck and trailer out of the way. So 150 cattle. We have our food trough. We have our water point. Sorry, our water point's located right here. This is going to be for our slurry extraction. And if we go ahead and take a look at our animals, we have our standard food types available to us, as well as water, milk, straw, and such. We're going to have our milk trigger. It's going to be located right there. Then our straw trigger is located also right here where our food trough is. Additional custom buildings. We have 2 meridian bins to store our grain. And these bins, if you're new to Farm Sim 22, are the type of bins that we need to fill from the top and withdraw product out the bottom. These belts and augers are already set up to somewhat demonstrate the usage on those. Then we have another shed here for our machinery. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build mode, because I do want to show you that we do have a lot of custom placeables available with the map. So if we take a look at our sheds, we have this is the the Elm Creek large red barn that is in the upper northwest of the map. It is split out into 3 segments, and all of these segments we're going to be able to actually go into and use. And we're going to find these buildings scattered around at the other playable farms. We got an old barn for farm number 2. We have a small garage, which we saw up at our house area. Hay storage barn. storage shed for implements, which is right there. Large open shed, which is right there. We have a small storage shed, which we saw up at the farmhouse. We got 2 silos. There's no custom silos, no custom silo extensions. We do have the fuel storage tank, and then we also have a water storage tank located right there. We have the ranch workshop, which is right there. And then we also have the OK dealership, which we're going to find down in town. As far as farmhouses go, we have the Elk Mountain farmhouse if we do not happen to already have a farmhouse. Under production, we have then the gold wash plant, which we will see up at the mining area pre-placed, but if you want to put down another one, you can indeed for $400,000. We have the gold wash room, which we're also going to demonstrate and show you how that works. And then we have the gold smelter. It is also going to be up by the mining area. Under sell points, we do have some custom sell points. We have the outdoor wood boiler for ranch to use firewood. That was up by the farmhouse. And then we have the Elk Mountain sawmill. There is one sawmill already placed on the map, but you could, if you wanted, put down another one. Right there you go. We have the large greenhouse, and as you can see, the pallets are going to spawn here to the side. We have no custom orchards. We do have a custom money generator in the windmill that gives small income and pumps water for the water storage. Under animals, we have a large open range cow area. If you've seen my new and noteworthy video on the Elk Mountain placeable pack, you've already seen a video about this particular area, but we're going to demonstrate this also at a later point in the video. We have our ranch barn, which is located right there. Under horses, we have our horse pasture, which we've already taken a look at right there. Then we have a open range horse pasture, similar to the open range cow pasture. We don't have anything custom for pigs. For sheep, we have an open range sheep pasture. We have then an open range chicken area. These are standard, as is the other. Under decoration, we have just the standard base game fences. Under lights, we do have a small floodlight that you can place. It is part of the Elk Mountain Ranch building pack. And then under others, we have a bevy of kind of decorative objects. We have the Elk Mountain entry gate. We have an outhouse, an Elk Mountain sign. We have a cattle guard. We can put down several different placeable rocks, rock pathways, decorative elements, our placeable bridge, and then we have the OK used mods, used car sales sign, as well as the used car sale banner right there. Under landscaping, if we take a look at our painting, we have most of the textures that are from both or all of the base game maps. We have our animal mud, we have asphalt, we have asphalt 1, we have cliff rock dark, we have dirt, then we have forest ground, we have grass, we have gravel, we have gravel grass, and we have mud 1, gravel pathway gravel, which is what we see here already. Then we have riverbed. Let's go ahead and take a look at those textures. Those are indeed using the 3D techniques, as we can see. Gravel, we have gravel with grass, and we have, what is it, animal mud, then we have our gravel pathway, and then we have our, I don't even remember what that one was anymore, but there we go. We have all of our ground types, a couple custom ground textures, so we've got that to go with. If we take a look then also at our trees, we have the base game placeable trees that are included. But if we take a look at the plants, we have a large group of plants. And I think this is a collective of plants that we see from all the other base game maps And this is these daisies, bluebells, edelweiss. I think these are all from Halt Belaroon. I might be confused with that, but I believe that we have basically a collection of all the plants from the various base game maps. All right, and with that, I think it's time to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to fly around the map, take a look at all the various other farms during that fly around. When we get up to the mining area, we're going to cut to a different segment on a different save game, and we're going to talk about the wash plant, the gold wash room, and then the gold smelting building. And then we're going to conclude with a drive around to all the various points of interest on the map. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of altitude here, and what we're going to then do is just a big, nice 360 pan. Pull up the PDA so you can see kind of where we are looking at here. So over here, off in the distance, we really can't see it, but off in the distance, that is going to be where the gold mine is located. You can look at all of these mountainous areas. We are basically looking right here is where basically we started at, just on the other side of that ridge. The map continues on well beyond the draw distance of the trees. So this mountain that you see directly in front of us, that is going to be, sorry, on the PDA, that is going to be the Liberty Peak. And then the town is going to be just below it. And we have our sawmill off in the distance that we really can't see too much of at this point, and the high plains. So this is a 4X map, so it will take us a little bit of time to fly around. The first thing we're going to come up to is just south of Field 3, which is located right here. Is going to be farm number 2. This farm is viable. And in fact, after we buy this farm, we'll be able to get rid of the for sale sign. So let's go ahead and buy that. It says take down sign, left click, and it is no longer for sale because we now own this property. And as a result of owning this property, we can, if we want to, delete all of these buildings. So you may have noticed this is a building that we have over on Elm Creek. And we can now indeed make use of it. Thank you so much, Elk Mountain Modding. Now, we still don't have a usable silo, but that's okay because you know what? As I said, we can just go here and sell it and put down our own silo. We don't have to be bothered about having non-usable functions or non-usable buildings on our farms. If we continue on following Elk River, we're going to make our way over to farm number 3. Farm number 3 is basically directly in front of us here. Just on the other side of a gas station. And the gas station is located directly below here. Then here we have farm number 3. Again, we have the for sale sign that we can get rid of once we buy the land. And we can also basically get rid of everything that you see right here related to the farm. The house, the little garage, this shed, the fencing, the barn, the silo, and this kind of little area here. Like I said, right across the street from the old Texaco station, which does indeed have a fuel trigger. We have a placeable area over here that you can go and buy and put down additional production areas should you so wish. Possibly in later revisions of the map, there may be other items placed here from those other production fill types that we already talked about. Now, if you buy this land, you cannot sell these two buildings. They are permanently a part of the map. And when you get up to the map edge, you're going to see a big white wall pop up if you get too close to the map edge. And that is basically going to follow you around if you are up too close to the edge. Let's make our way on over here to kind of the mining area, but before that we have a couple production points located down here. We're going to take a closer look at those during the drive around aspect. I have to say the map is just absolutely stunning with just a varied landscape, the various areas that we have. I've always loved trees that aren't straight. We've got some dead trees intermixed with live trees. We've got areas here like this that it's all been clear cut. We've got some young growth coming back from these areas. A lot of details, a lot of thought has clearly been put into how things are laid out on this particular map. And here we are down at the gold mine. And the way the gold mine has been set up, and we've seen gold mines in other maps, but gold mines in other maps have had basically like piles of fill type that you come in and scoop out. What makes this map unique is that this is the map. This is ground. This is dirt. This is not buildable, diggable dirt unless you have the Terraform mod enabled, and then you're going to be able to use this particular dirt and scoop it up. And when you scoop it up, it will go away, and your bucket will fill with dirt. Then you'll basically take it up and around. You also have the pile of dirt over there that you can use. You'll take it up and around over here to the gold wash plant. And from here, you will dump it into the wash plant using this ramp. You'll also supply the wash plant with diesel. And then you're going to get pallets of concentrate out of the wash plant. And then you're going to get a pile of tailings. We're going to take a closer look at that here in a very short period of time. You're going to take your concentrate and bring it up around here to this large area. You could also put down other production items here. You could put down a second wash plant up here if you wanted to. And then we have the gold smelting building and then the gold bars building located right here and right over here. Now, you may have noticed none of these buildings appear to have any triggers. That is because these buildings are tied with the ownership of the mine here. And once you own the mine, then you will see those triggers pop up. In fact, let's just go ahead and snap on over to another game save where we own this land. And I've already taken the time to fill up all of these production items with their max fill types. So as you can see on the PDA, we now have 3 icons showing up because we do own this particular plot of land. We have the gold smelter, we have the gold washroom, and we have the gold wash plant. So if we come over here to our production areas, you're going to see that we have the gold wash plant. It is going to accept dirt. And as I said, you're going to use the Terraform mod or Terraform mod to scoop up dirt from those large land areas that have been piled up. And in theory, you're going to scoop that out and eventually bring it to the gold wash plant as dirt. You're going to need to supply the wash plant with diesel. 10,000 units of dirt and 1 unit of diesel is going to produce 800 units of tailings and 150 units of concentrate. And let's go ahead and fly over there real fast, and we'll see where those things spawn. So you see we now have our dump icon, our diesel fill icon. Then we have our pallets of tailings. Not our tailings, our pallets of concentrate. And then we have our pile of tailings that we could scoop up and sell off also. Now we're going to bring our concentrate up and around to the next part of that process. And that is going to be the gold washroom. So the gold washroom is going to take concentrate and diesel, and it's going to output gold. We're going to bring the gold over to our gold smelter, and then it is going to output gold refined bars. So our gold washroom is in here. We're going to bring our concentrate pallets over to this area. We have our interactive icon there, and then our pallets of gold, we're going to spawn right there. We're going to take those over to our gold smelter, and we're going to take our pallets of gold and place them right here. And then what we're going to get is gold bars, which are going to spawn in pallets right there. And there we have our pure gold bars that we can then go and sell at, well, the various sell points that are going to accept gold bars. So let's go ahead and down here and take a look. So gold bars are going to be able to be sold at the pawn shop, $44,000 for 1,000 liters of gold. Our regular gold is going to be able to be sold to the gold smelter, and then our concentrate is going to be sold at the gold washroom. Then our tailings we're going to be able to take down to the train that goes over to Cheyenne. So with that, let's go ahead and cut back to our other video where we are going to continue our fly around. So from the mining area, we're going to go ahead and kind of move across the northern side of the map. Moving to our east, we have the Burned Ridge, which is an interesting kind of landmark here on the map. We have a bunch of trees that appear to have been part of a forest fire. We just get a little bit of altitude, and we can now look kind of across the map from the north to the south. Our main farm is just on the other side of this ridge. So this is where your forestry lovers are going to basically be able to really have their domain. The mountainous areas aren't too seemingly difficult to traverse, but plenty of trees to definitely process if forestry is kind of your thing. And then we get up here to kind of some flattened areas, and you could buy this. You could put your trees here. You could plant more trees here. You could dig this up and basically make some farmland out of it. Or if you wanted to, you could probably put sawmill up here and make it a lot easier for your forestry. But basically, there are a couple of areas that seem to be set up possibly for some placeables to be put because they're relatively free of trees. And they are still fairly flat, fairly easy to place things. One of those such areas is right here in the extreme northeast of the map. Now let's go ahead and kind of make our way down the eastern side of the map. We're going to be coming up to one of the production areas and one of the sell points just below here. So here we have Wyoming grain. So we have our fill pipe right there. Let's just go ahead and see what this is. So we have seed, fertilizer, and lime at buy point, and then we have the Wyoming grain sell point here on the other side. So I was a little misspoken with respect to it being a production area, but we have Wyoming grain. And we're coming up here to farm number 5. And farm number 5 is rather interesting because we do have the pieced together barn here from Elm Creek that is completely usable. In fact, I want to go ahead and buy this plot of land. $333,000. And now that we have bought the land, you can see that we can now go inside, and we actually have the ability to open doors and make use of this super cool barn. It really is a shame that we didn't have the ability to make use of this barn in Elm Creek as a base game asset. So I just wanted to show this off because that clearly took some time to put together. On this particular farm, we can sell the fence here. We can sell all the fencing and the gate around. Once again, we can get rid of our for sale sign. And then this part of the map is kind of unique. So over kind of more in the middle to the west middle of the map, we have our 10 predefined fields. But over here we have kind of the plains area, specifically the high plains. You know, this section here, the high plains, we can buy for $443,000. We have another section, $753,000. We have the high plains down here to the south west of the map for $754,000, and we have other little various sections of plains that we can buy. And this is very much a carve out your own map, carve out your own fields, and really have a go of it. And then over here we have a large fenced area with a cattle guard, and this area is going to be perfect for possibly some free-range cattle, free-range horses, and anything else you really want to put in. So let's go ahead and buy that plot of land. And we're going to go here to animals and open-range cattle. So the way this works is you see the blue. The blue is showing you where the cattle are going to open range at. So you can use that information to place this. So you can place it like, let's say right here. So they're going to be open ranging, and they're never going to basically go across the fence because that wouldn't look very good. So we can put it right down. And you may think to yourself, well, what malarkey? I don't want this blue. The heck is this blue plain that's just here? Well, we're going to go over here to this chill out. We're going to go over here to this white sign, and we're going to say activate marker. And presto, it's gone. So the blue plane is simply there so you have a clue where to place this and where the boundary is. So we have our fill point there. We have our dump point for our food, our dump point for our water, and then we have our cattle buy area. Let's go ahead and buy an Angus. We go to our animal area. We're going to see that our Angus, we have our standard food types. We have milk, water, and there we go. So that is going to be our milk trigger, and there's our cow. The blue plane is also quite useful if you want to, kind of first put down your fence and then put down or then get rid of the blue plane so you can put down then your animal areas. So we have a lot of other areas. You could go and put down multiple, right? You could put down plenty of those open cow pastures in here and really have a heyday because you have such a large open area to work with. But we're going to put down, just to demonstrate, this open horse area. Same general principle. We have the blue. We can kind of make sure that we don't have any horses wandering outside the fenced area and put that down. We also have an open range sheep area. We can put that down. I think there's another gate over here. We can put them all down over here by these gates. And then we have our sheep, our little chickens. And then, as I said, the blue is there, so once you put it down, you could fence in around the blue, or it helps you aid in placing it around a fenced area. And then we come over here to the placement marker, get rid of it, and the blue is gone. We have our food trough, we have our water trough, we have our hitch post for our horses, so that's where we're going to buy our horse. Let's fly on over here real quick to our sheep and our chickens. So the sheep, we have our signposts, go away. We have our sheep buy point, 100 sheep. We have our water and our food and our wool spawn point. And then for our chickens, we have our food trough. We have our chicken buy point. 40 chickens in this particular area. And then we also can get rid of that blue area, just like so. So if we take a look, we have our standard food for our chickens. We have our egg spawn point. We have our sheep, wool. We have our grass. And then our horse, base food, hay, water, and the like. So there you can see our egg spawn point right there. You can see how we would have a lot of land here that we could do pretty much whatever we wanted to. We could have a massive horse area or cow area here with several open pastures just in this area alone, without even talking about this or the rest. I like this touch right here, kind of at the crossroads. We have this old abandoned church. Now we can't sell the church because the church is a historical building. So we can't sell the church. You're going to have to work around that. But yeah, really cool touch. I like that. So we're going to make our way over here to the gravel pit. And the gravel pit is where the stone crusher is going to be located. See that cutback, switchbacks as we go up the inclines. The rivers look really great. Here we have our gravel pit. And again, with the Terra Farm mod, you're going to be able to actually come in here and actually scoop up gravel. This isn't gravel fill type. This is dirt. This is real ground. We can come in here, we can scoop up this ground and actually dump it in the stone crusher, if you will, to make a little bit of money. But we've got the stone crusher down here, and then we have these two large areas of gravel that you could have fun with. Then we're going to come across the southern edge of the map from east to west. More areas where you could buy and really just develop out. Make your own farm down here. You don't have to have a pre-placed farm. So as the description said, this map really is kind of the quintessential Farm Sim 22 map that has something for everybody and a little bit of everything else for everybody else. Really, I mean, it's got, what does this map not have? I don't know. Tell me down in the comments below, what do you think this map doesn't have? And here we have a big high plains area, and this whole area here around this road is one big buyable point. We've got a biogas plant. We've got the town up here that we're about to get ready to go take a look at. We have the train tracks that eventually lead to Cheyenne are over here on the western edge of the map. And this is a rentable train, so we can sell things to Cheyenne. Let's go ahead and follow the train tracks. over here to the train silo. So from here, we have the ability to dump into the silo. We can pull product out of the silo, and we can rent the train, and then we can put product in the train or pull product out of the train. And then just on the other side of that bridge is where we are going to basically go off the map and then sell our product at Cheyenne. Just down the road from the train silo, we have our sawmill. And this is the custom Elk Mountain sawmill. So we have our spawn point for our plank pallets. We have our pile of wood chips, which is going to be right here. We have our log cell trigger, which is going to be located right there. And then our log cell point is going to be right here. Now, pay attention, because the interactive icon and the area you're going to use to buy the sawmill is actually inside here in the little office. So this is where we're going to interact with or buy the sawmill. Just down from the sawmill, we have our biomass heating plant. That is a sell point. Let's loop over here real quick. Here we have the grain mill. So we have our dump station. For our grain mill, we have our pallet fill point. We have our interactive icon. And then around the back, we actually have a sell point. So you don't want to mix these up. This is the sell point. This is the dump station for the mill. We have the Elk Mountain biogas plant, which is located right here. And we are going to need to have to buy the land in order to make use of the biogas plant. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that. So $46,000. And now we have all of our icons showing up for the Planet biogas plant. Clearwater Cooperative. And then this is going to bring us kind of into town. So we've got kind of residential area on the outside of town, and then on the inside of town we have all of our businesses. We have our bakery. We have a little bit of a subdivision up here on the hill with our water tower. We have a school with the football field. And here we have OK Used Mods. Big sale on used cars. And I have to say, all machines on the go. I have to say, I think all the machines are gone, because there isn't really anything worth buying left on the lot. So, OK Used Mods have sold themselves seemingly out of business. Inside the roll doors that do work, we do have a maintenance trigger right there. And then I know we can go into this from the outside. There we go. Now we can come inside to our OK Used Mods garage office. As we come down through town, we have a grocery store. We have our tailor shop, which is a production element. Lots of shops. We have our vehicle dealership over here on the right. We'll take a closer look at that when we get around to the drive around. Tractor Supply. This is where we are going to be able to sell our produce from our greenhouses. We have a dairy, so our dairy production facility. We have our dump station there. We have our interactive icon. We have our pallet spawn point here between the dairy and, well, this nice fine shop, which seems to have weathered Farm Sim 19 banner on this side of the building. And on the back, we have a nice old weathered Coca-Cola billboard. Here we have, not billboard, but mural, I guess. We have our spinnery. No good town is not without their Mexican restaurant. We have a bowling alley, gas station, and who would be without their fire department, complete with their great state of Wyoming flag. So we have our vehicle shop there we're going to take a closer look at later. And then around the back, we do have then a couple other production points. We have the sugar mill, and we have the carpentry in here on the back side of town. Then on the way out of town, we have some more production elements. We have our hay sell point, and then we have our feed store. This is where we can buy lime, seed, and fertilizer, as well as sell products. Over here we have an additional viable farm. Once we buy the land, we can indeed sell the farm and the barn buildings. This is going to be farm number 4. We're going to buy for $106,000. I think at that point we've seen farm 1, we've seen farm 2, 3, 4, and 5 at this point. I think that is going to conclude the fly around, but man, this river is just... Let me just look at that. Just look at that. I completely missed. We've got a waterfall that I completely missed earlier. I was going to show you during the fly around, but I think you could just spend hours you could literally just spend hours just looking, driving. Absolutely stellar, man. Absolutely stellar. So let's go on back over here to the shop. And while we're over there, let's talk more about our rating system. So with respect to production being built in, we have 15 production items on this map. We have a gold smelter, gold washroom, gold wash plant, grain mill, bakery, carpentry, cereal factory, dairy, oil mill, tailor, spinnery, sugary, large greenhouse that's custom, the sawmill that's custom, and the biogas plant. So this map is 100% getting a full point on that regard. We have other areas that you could possibly put down production, so it is completely covering every aspect of that. With respect to, does the map include sell points for all of your standard fill types, production elements, and such? As we have already said, the map gets a full point on that regard. Can the farms be customized? Yes, all 5 viable farms can be customized. You can sell everything on the farms if you wish. If you start up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, none of the buildings exist on any of the starting farms anyway, but you do start out with the starting machinery. So the map is going to get yet another point in that regard. Now here we have our shop. Let's go ahead and get our shop and get our Mahindra. And this is really cool. This is obviously a custom shop, right? But look in here. We've got the custom window treatment for Farm Sim 22 with a custom image here. So as you look, you can't go in that door, but boy, it does look like that's definitely the parts department. And then around back, we have our customized sell, repair, trade, our maintenance trigger right there. You can go inside and kind of role play, do whatever you want. So we have our Mahindra right there. A decent area for our kind of our machinery to spawn in at. All right, so let's go ahead and get our way outside the shop. Right across the street, we have the pawn shop. If you remember, the pawn shop is where we're going to be able to sell our gold and our gold bars. Then on the back side of this little shopping area, we have 2 dump stations. Let's go ahead and take a look at where those are. We have the pawn shop on the front, and then we have the local market here on the rear. And I assume that both of those are for the local market. It's just one accepts one thing or some things, and the other accepts other products. Across the street, we have the in-game tailor. So we have our activation trigger, our dump station, and our wardrobe around the front. We have our pallet spawn point over here in the back corner. Across the street, we do have the tractor supply. So this is going to be our fresh produce sell point. Around the back of tractor supply, we have a buy point for bulk lime, seed, or fertilizer. Seed, lime, and fertilizer. We have our dairy, so we have our dump station for our dairy. As we saw in the fly around, then we have our pallet spawn point between these buildings. And then our activation icon, or interactive icon, buy point for the dairy is there at the front door. We have another gas station located right here. And then we'll just double back. A little bit. Making our way out of town, we have Clearwater Cooperative, where we have the grain mill. So we have our pallet spawn point. We have our dump station for the grain mill and our interactive icon there at the back door. And then around the other side, we have the cooperative sell point. Just down the road from the cooperative, we have the biogas plant, which again, you need to purchase the land in order to have the activation triggers. So we have our interactive icon, we have our digester dump station, we have our dump station for slurry. Then we have our digestate fill trigger located right there. I'm going to double back a little bit because we have a couple more things in town to take a look at real quick. We have our spinnery, so we have our interactive icon. We have our pallet spawn point. Then around back, as well as our dump station. Right across from the bowling alley. What are you guys doing? Just waiting for somebody to get out of the van or something? Hopefully you're not looking to rough somebody up. Here on the back side of town is where we are going to locate our sugar mill. So the sugar mill is located right here. We have our pallet spawn point our interactive icon, our dump station around back. We have our carpentry shop, our dump station, our wood cell trigger, interactive icon, and our pallet spawn points around back. And let me just check and make sure we have hit all that. So we've talked about the OK dealership. Fast food restaurant is a sell point. Tailor shop, the bakery, farmer's market is the Tractor Supply. Look over here real fast. So here we have seed feed store. So we're going to be able to buy bulk seed, lime, and fertilizer here. Seed, lime, fertilizer. We do have a dump station there to sell product. We have another dump station here to sell product. I don't think there's anything around the back. Then we have a hay, straw, grass, silage, bale, and loose sell point. We have one of the possible player farms that you can buy. Just do a little in-cab driving, just kind of get that experience the map from this level. Here we have our animal dealership. Northwest Stockyard. So we have our animal trigger to buy our animals located right here. And then we have the hay, straw, grass sell point here at the animal dealer. Loop around a little bit. Now, with respect to, are the buildings using the appropriate new texture technique and 3D look where appropriately, and are the ground textures using the new technique? We've already looked at the ground textures, and they indeed are using the new technique. And while there are a few buildings on the map that are not using the new technique, they do not detract from the overall look and experience of the map. So I'm going to grade on a little bit of a curve, but I do not feel that they really adversely affect the overall look of the map, because man, the map just looks fabulous. It just looks really great. So I'm going to go ahead and give the map a full point on that regard, that the map is where appropriate using the new texture techniques to provide a 3D look. Now, if you are noticing a few little hitches here and there, I think that is related to texture streaming in and me just driving a little bit faster maybe than my hard drive is able to pull them in. Now here we have one more seed, lime, and fertilizer buy point. Go ahead and loop around, and then we have 2 sell points. One located right here and one located in this bay. It's possible they accept different products. It's possible this one here accepts palletized products, whereas the other one accepts loose or dump grain material. Oh. Just looking down at the PDA. So that was Wyoming grain. Looking down at the PDA and didn't notice that car coming. So it's kind of an interesting layout to the map. The northern area is rather mountainous and forested. There is the gold mining area also up there to the north. Whereas once you kind of get down here below the river, below Elk River, then things sort of flatten out a little bit. There we have another one of the player farms, and this is where we placed several of those open pastures a little bit earlier in the video. And so the entire really southern portion of the map, other than that mountain peak right there, is rolling hills, kind of the high plains as it's described on the PDA. So a little bit of quite the diverse map, as we have said. I think this map is going to have a little bit of everything for everyone. And given the fact that it is a 4X map, you could really play it as 2 or 3 different maps through your time period. You could play down here in the southeast. You could play over in the southwest, kind of in a build your own farm, carve out your own fields types of a thing. You could play up there in the kind of center of the map and kind of middle west, where we have the predefined fields, more contemporary farming simulator style play. And then if you want to go into the forestry, then all you need to do is kind of look at the northern third of the map. So down here is where the stone crusher is located. And then we have the gravel pit over here. Again, you're going to need to use the Terra farming mod in order to kind of dig that up. Now, I do not have a video on how to use the Terra farming mod. That is because when I was trying to use it, I wanted to do a video showing all of the feature sets, and I really had a hard time doing pretty much anything other than digging. Digging was pretty straightforward and pretty easy, and that is exactly what you're going to be doing here at the gravel pits and to the north at the gold mine area. Is you're going to be digging. You're just going to come in here with a bucket. You're going to enable the Terra farming mod with a bucket, and you're just going to scoop up some ground, literally dig up the ground, and you're going to get some gravel or dirt or whatever other fill type you configure the mod to output into the bucket. And you'll be able to bring it over here and just dump it straight into the stone crusher if you wanted to, or if you wanted to take it over to the train that's going to Cheyenne, you can also do that. Just go ahead and just kind of quickly drive over there, and that's kind of where I think we're going to end the video, is over by the sawmill and by the train station. And then with respect to, are the player triggers and interactive areas clearly marked? There's only one spot really that I noticed anything that was a little ambiguous, and that was the custom greenhouse at the main farm. I couldn't see the pallet spawn triggers for that. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pass there because of the fact that, well, the pallets are going to spawn and you're going to pretty much know where they are at that point. You're not going to have to hunt around and look for them. And if you go to place it, you do see the interactive triggers there. So for whatever reason, they're just slightly buried, I think, down in the surrounding landscape. And that is why they are not showing, but they are there in the actual placeable. So I'm going to give the map a full point on that regard, which, if you're keeping score, does give this another 5 out of 5. So here we go. We've got a 4X 5 out of 5 map. That is Elk Mountain, Montana. I'd be curious what your all's thoughts are on this particular map down in the comments below. So we're coming up here to... Whoa! Nearly lost it. We're coming up here to the train station. I do like how we've got trees that are just kind of leaning over, dead trees leaning over, dead trees sticking straight up. We have live trees. And here we have the dump station for the train transfer silo. Here we have the fill port for taking things out of the silo into a trailer. And then, of course, down here at the train rail yard, we have the fill point and a dump point for the railroad train itself. And we have our rent train trigger right here. Just down the road, we then have our custom sawmill, as we saw in the fly around. As we are running with the sawmill, we will have our wood chips pile up there. We have our spawn point for our planks, located right there. Sell point for wood is located right there. The trigger for the sell point for wood is located here, and also on the other side of the building down at the water area. So you could bring your logs and place them in the water right there, and then come around and sell the logs at this point right here. Then, as we saw during the fly around, you're going to have to come into the building here in order to interact with it and buy it. And then just up the road, or just up the drive maybe, from the sawmill, we have the biomass heating plant. Which is located right here. Whoa. Ha ha! Watch out for those drainage ditches, people. It'll get you every time. Just on the other side of the bridge, we have another fuel station. Rundown Texaco station, if you remember. And this is right beside farm number 2. Sorry, farm number 3. So we have an old Texaco station here. We have that large placeable area over here where you could put down your own production areas, or it could also be an area for future expansion. And we're not going to take our way all the way up to the gold mine. We've kind of looked at that in decent enough detail, I think, during the fly around. But here we have the last two areas that we are going to take a look at during our drive. So we have the cereal mill and the oil factory. So we have our dump station, our pallet spawn point, our interactive icon for the cereal mill around the front. And the same is going to be said for the oil mill, pallet, dump station, and interactive icon here around the sun. So guys, that is going to do us for another first impressions video. I know this has been an epic video, but you know what? It has been an epic map also, so I think it is very well fitting. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of Elk Mountain, Montana? And is it going to be added to your maps to be played playlist? And until next time, happy farming.